Everybody else is armed except blacks. Blacks are drinking, they're having sex, they're dancing. We have got to stop being comfortable being protected by those who took our land. America is the biggest colonizer on earth. It's not a democracy. It's Indian land that is occupied by Anglo-Saxons who have continued to murder and kill, and they've actually made extinct the people that lived there. That's not a country. That is a criminal empire. That is the Nazis that are still living in the flesh today. And if you give them the chance, they would want South Africa to be the same. And that's why the issue of Cape independence is a threat. Because once they establish a Cape province, they're going to give it nuclear weapons like they did with Israel. And they're going to make it a little Israel in Africa and use it to terrorize and take the rest of the land from the whole of South Africa, slowly but surely, like what they did with Palestine. Our young black South Africans need to start getting military training. Let's stop nonsense of being surrounded by security companies that are Indian, security companies that are white, but there are no black security companies, and black people are not being militarized. Black people in South Africa have got to become militarized. And this has to be done now, not tomorrow. This nonsense of white security officers acting and policing black people, which is happening more and more. I even been to police roadblocks where there are private security companies as part of the roadblock. Who are those people policing the South Africans? And when did we get comfortable with white people policing black people once again? Black people have got to get military training. This notion that we're a rainbow nation is a nonsense story, because everybody else is armed except blacks. Blacks are drinking, they're having sex, they're dancing. We have got to stop being comfortable being protected by those who took our land. Got to stop being comfortable with being protected by those who are holding our property. And we've got to become more concerned about ensuring that when we need to take our land, we have the capacity. The SDF is infiltrated, the whites are in there, the Indians are in there. We need black people to have their own military capacity outside. This is the truth. Otherwise, without that, you will never take the land, and they will oppress you. And we saw that in Phoenix. We saw that in white suburbs where black people were being asked about their right to get into white communities, and they were being barred from their own homes because they didn't have firearms. It's time to get firearms and to fire all those white people in police stations who prohibit black people from getting firearms. You need to understand that there's a system at the police stations. The departments that deal with firearms are manned by white people who are there to make sure that black people do not get firearms. The bureaucracy at Pretoria, when you want your firearm license, is being made sure that there's still a brother bond that makes sure that black people are not armed. And if you're armed, you've got an illegal firearm. We've got to wake up. This is again comes back to the lawyers who make rules, the lawyers who make laws, the lawyers who make policies. Black people have to wake up. It's time to get prepared. This issue of Western Cape independence, these guys are armed there. But the question is, if they're armed, what about our people? Are they armed enough to be able to resist them? This is not supposed to be spoken about, but it has to be. Because the only counter to violence is having an ability to defend yourself from the violence.